Hello and welcome to The Magician's Advice Recommends. So another episode of Magician's Advice Recommends here with myself, Ian Brennan. And I've got a really fun little prop here for you today. This prop is made by a fellow magician, a friend of mine called Ian Mack. And I've known Ian Mack for quite a few years. If you're fans of the podcast, you'll have heard about him before when we talked about the creative puppets and all the awesome things that he designs. And this prop is a little thing called the Vent card. Vent for ventriloquist, card as in playing card. And it looks like this. I think in the routine, Ian calls this little guy Spike. Say, hello Spike, hello! And he does what he does basically. The routine that comes to Spike is a mind reading routine, but you can use him for all sorts of little things. If you've got a skill with ventriloquism, which I don't really have, but you can put him into your different routines and you can use him for those. Sorry to pause the video here just for a moment. I've spoken to Ian Mack since recording the first run through of this clip, and there's a couple of things he asked me to mention. And just to clarify, first thing is, although I talk about doing ventriloquism and venting in the performance, you don't need to do any venting at all. So bear that in mind. When you get it from Ian and you get the card, there's a routine on there with no ventriloquism. You're welcome to add it in if you like, but that's sort of an optional extra. You don't have to do any venting or that at all. You can do it all without having to do that. Second thing, it's no longer called the Vent card. It's called Tooned-In, I think it's called Tooned-In. It's got a slightly different name. It's changed over the last couple of years since it first came out. It's developed a little bit. It's got better. Check it out on Ian's stand. I'm pretty sure it's called Tooned-In and Tooned-In Stage for the slightly larger one. Do check it out. Go and say hi to him. It's not called the Vent card anymore. It's got a slightly different name. And you don't actually need to do any ventriloquism to get the routine that he gives you with it. Here's the rest of the review. The way I use him is if I'm at a wedding or a party and I've got a slightly younger audience following me around, a Spike will come out and he'll help out find a lost card. So a routine would be something like this. Spectator chooses a card, signs a card, scribble, 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 signs a card. Their card gets lost in the deck. We'll come back to that later. And then we say our card's really lost in the deck. We need someone to come and help us out. We're going to ask an old friend of mine, someone I've been doing magic with for a long, long time, and his name's Spike. Come on out, Spike. Everybody say hello, Spike. Here he is. Here he is. Now, Spike looks a lot like a playing card, don't you, Spike? Yeah. But he's really, 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 really smart. Yeah, I am. He's really smart. And me and Spike, we're really in tune, aren't we, Spike? Yeah. And we're so in tune that sometimes when Spike talks, it looks like my lips are moving as well. It's really strange. Now, my ventriloquism skills are awful, by the way, so ignore my lips, but you get the idea what you can do with it. So Spike talks to the audience. Yeah, talk to the audience. And he'll try and read their mind. Is it a red card? Is it a red card? No, it's not a red card. Oh, no. So it's not a red card. So it must be a black card. You can't say black, sorry about that. A black card, unless I move my lips. And he talks through and he chats away saying what the cards are. Is it a club? Club, yeah, club. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 of clubs. No, it can't be a 17 of clubs, Spike. There's not a 17 of clubs in the pack. And you might get a chuckle from the boys and girls, you might get a chuckle from the grown-ups. Anyway, Spike works his magic, and then he ends up saying it's the right card. In this case, the 9 of clubs. I've chosen one of the worst cards to try and speak over, by the way. But yeah, the 9 of clubs. And he works out that it's the right card is the 9 of clubs. Now, not only does he work it out, but when you take Spike, you can say, in fact, I'm not going to keep him. You can keep him. You can keep hold of him because he's been part of this, and you can keep him as a memory from today. Can't you, Spike? Yeah. And you can keep on Spike. But in fact, not only did he know it was your card, in fact, he knew the whole time it was your what your card was, the 9 of clubs, because actually on the back of Spike is your signed 9 of clubs. It's quite a nice routine. It's not something I would do for grown-ups at a performance, unless I was a really good ventriloquist and unless I was really good at kind of bantering along and getting Spike's banter to be that good as well. But for me, it's more for a younger audience. If I've got little people around, it just shows to the audience you've got that you've got another skill rather than just find a card, lose a card, and it makes it really kid-friendly. So you're doing this, you're chucking it away, and if you can do a slightly better event than I can, you get some really good banter with this. I tend to, when I'm performing it normally, I won't hold it next to my mouth because that's a bit obvious, but in this camera frame, that's all we're going to work with. So normally I hold it, I must frame it, sort of to the side, I'd lean myself over, and Spike, how you doing? Yeah, I'm good, thank you. And it's a lot easier to make people believe that it's that talking instead of me if it's over there. He's a bit cheeky, yeah, I'm cheeky, and he says some silly things every now and again, but at the end of the day, he always gets their card, and not only does he get their card, it's actually, he is their card, and he is the signed card that they are. And of course that one can be kept given out and kept out there. It's a lovely, lovely, lovely little gimmick, and depending on how you want to use it, I think Ian Mack does it in 2 different styles. So this gimmick, if you were to turn it round, it looks like a court card. Let's turn it around there. It looks like a court card. So depending on the handling you want to use, that one's got a card on the back. And he also does the same gimmick, but this time, instead of it being a court card, on the back of this one, you've got just a regular bike back. So this one is better for like doing a double turnover, double lift, and people won't notice either side of it. So I love those. Ian Mack spent cards. Ian's going to be at Blackpool this year in a couple of weeks' time. And he's not only going to have them in this size, but he's also going to have them in jumbo size as well. So if you are interested in getting one of these for your close-up, then see Ian, say hi, tell him, you know, we say hi as well, and ask him for his vent card, close-up size. If you want to do this on stage, for your kids show, for your family show, then he does these as well for the larger show. And I don't know if you'll be able to do the reveal at the end for the larger show. I don't know why you'd want to, but the idea of the talking card is quite good and quite funny. You could always have a duplicate card, and you could have it done in such a way that you could give out the duplicate card if you wished. You have Spike, so you're handing it out to the family. I don't think you need to for a family show, but for close-up and walk around, it's a lovely, lovely giveaway. And then of course, once you've given that away, so long as you've prepared a few of these, then you're ready to go again. Get them to sign the back, read their mind, and off you go. Check out Ian Mack's vent card at Creative Puppets. That's all for now. I'll see you next time. Bye. Before you go anywhere, I want to say a huge shout out of thanks to our sponsors of the podcast, Gigio. If you haven't heard of Gigio, they are a fantastic online platform which can manage and deal with all your online bookings. So whenever a customer comes onto your website and clicks in to book you for their gig, Gigio will take over all the paperwork and all the behind the scenes things. Your customers enter in their details to the Gigio form. Gigio then sucks up all that information, will send out confirmations, they'll allow your customers to click links on the contracts that you send, and they'll allow your customers to pay you directly through there. So you can have it set up in such a way that it just all happens automatically. Your customers can go through from your website to pay you the money for your gig through Gigio, and it is absolutely amazing. Gigio have sponsored our podcast for the last couple of years, and now they're helping us out again this year with the podcast and with Magician's Advice Recommends. And I really want to say, if you're a magician looking at taking your magic to the next professional level, then check out Gigio. Until next time, goodbye. Bye.